I'm Andrea, and this video is about Brewers pitcher Chad Patrick. He made his Major League debut in 2025 and had a really great season. These were his stats. And he did this with a unique fastball-heavy approach, mainly throwing to the upper half of the zone. And he pitched like a middle-of-the-rotation starter. And the key question for this video is, can he continue to have that level of success as a starter with this fastball-heavy approach? So starting off, what does that approach look like now? Well, he mixes his cutter, his primary fastball, to both hands, and then he uses his sinker more against righties and his four-seam more against lefties. He also has a changeup that he uses rarely, 12% of the time versus lefties. And he also has a slider and a slurve, which he developed in 2025, but he very rarely threw either of them last year. Here's a quick look at what his three fastballs look like, so you could see that in general they get above average in-zone miss and chase. His cutter in particular was his best pitch. It had the 12th best run value in MLB last year. Patrick's not overpowering hitters with velocity. His pitches only have a 6 mph velocity gap, so it forces him to rely more on the movement of the pitches instead of trying to mess with the hitter's timing, especially since he uses all three of them exclusively in the upper half of the zone. And he's not afraid to go after hitters to try to get ahead. His first pitch strike rate is 5% higher than MLB average, and he gets his outs with strikeouts and primarily fly balls. So far, Patrick's getting away with this approach because of how well his cutter is performing, but here are a few reasons why I think his role is more limited to a back-of-the-rotation starter. Starting with first pitch damage, while Patrick's stuff does get above average in-zone miss, when it's hit with quality. So if we look at this table, we can see how high the X-slug against his cutters were in particular in 2025 first pitch. And we know that he has an aggressive approach to start an at-bat, but if hitters start hunting these pitches, then they can capitalize on them. Next, he doesn't utilize the lower half. If we look at these heat maps, we can see that he focuses primarily on the upper half of the zone. And if we think about what a top or a middle of the rotation starter looks like, they're able to change eye level and use different areas of the zone. And they can expand to force hitters to defend against the lower part of the zone. And that upper half only approach is currently limiting Patrick's ceiling. Next is fly ball risk. As a fly ball pitcher, it's important that opposing hitters are not barreling a pitch, and he had a hard time limiting pulled balls in the air in 2025 and actually finished towards the bottom of the league in that stat. And he also had a 10% pop-up rate that helped limit damage, but I'm doubtful whether or not he'll be able to maintain that over the course of a full season. If we look at other starters with that high of a pop-up rate, they also tend to feature a plus pitch. For example, Joe Ryan has an 11% pop-up rate, but he also features an elite four-seam. And while Patrick's cutter is good, it's not quite at that same caliber. Lastly, if we look at park factor, we can see how different Patrick's stats were when he was home versus when he was away. As a fly ball pitcher who has a hard time limiting hard contact, he's more sensitive to his environment. So can Patrick continue to have success with such a fastball-heavy approach? Absolutely he can, but he has little room for error, and his 2025 results relied on above average in-zone miss and chase, a high pop-up rate, and better results at home. So sustaining all of those factors over the course of a full season is going to be difficult. To raise his ceiling, he could start developing a breaking pitch that he could throw to the lower half of the zone, so maybe that involves further developing his slurve or his slider. Or he could start mixing his pitches more first pitch to prevent hitters from sitting on the cutter. Let me know what you think, and if you like this video, please hit subscribe and follow me on socials at ScoutGoReport. Thanks for watching!